That's right, y'all. Somebody said, let's do this, Kev. Oh, what's going on, Anthony? Yeah, it's Kev from Kevin's Corner, where I try to make some sense out of nonsense. And I decided to do a little live surprise. Okay, let's see here. First things first, though, I gotta raise this up a bit. I've been doing some, making some changes to the room. And so I probably got my phone out of just a little bit off where I normally have it. There we go. All right, now, let's straighten this up a bit. Okay, I'm a perfectionist when it comes to certain things. Anyway, that's good enough for now. Anyway, yeah, somebody said, there I am. Here I am. And that's right. And wherever I go, there I am too. So hit that like button, share my videos, follow me on all the other social media platforms. Hopefully, if you ain't got nothing to do this Saturday, you can kick it with me for a quick second. And somebody just informed me that they can hear me loud and clear. And that's the biggest issue, because yesterday we was having some technical difficulties. So I got some other material I'm going to be uploading. And I'm going to be uploading some clips from yesterday's live stream and the day before. And so keep an eye out for that. Hit that like button. Share my videos. Follow me on all the other social media platforms. I don't intend to be on here too long. So, yeah, let's get through it and let's get to it. While I get loose first. Yeah. You know what I do. I rock the planet, beating my chest like a real bulldog. Real bulldog. Real bulldog. There's some kings in the building. Gorillas in here. Gorillas in here. Gorillas in here. Gorillas in here. That's right. So, if it's your first time joining the show, hit the like button, share my videos, follow me on all the other social media platforms, including my alternative channel, which I am now going to start uploading to. And other than that, feel free to check out Kevin's Corner store, where you can get some merch. And that number 330-974-4607. You can text MAGA to that number. This way I have a way of communicating to everyone, just in case something happens to me tonight. Yeah, Eagle Eye. It says Saturday night at Kevin's Corner. That's right. It's a Saturday night. And I got a couple things I've been meaning to get to, but it was kind of difficult because of the whole debate and all that. And I was sitting around working on some things, and I said, you know what? Let me mess around with these clips I was going to go over. And as I was putting them together, I was like, oh, this is good. Oh, this is good. Oh, you know what? You know what? I got to do it, man. Yeah, see? So I had to go live tonight, get this out the way, because you saw the title. Being right is right because it's right. And we're going to be talking about that tonight. But before we get into that, you want to see something that ain't right and something that's very, very wrong? Oh, you ever seen somebody think they so deep? Yeah, they walk around thinking they deep. They dropping all kind of knowledge on people and stuff like that. And they're so deep that they ended up going off the deep end. Yeah, somebody who's out there, see, was always kind of bros like this that grew up around us. Yo, young man, come here. Let me tell you something, man. The Asiatic black man is the original. And I'm going, okay, I'm American. I was just born in Northside Hospital. I didn't know that I was an Asiatic black man that needs to understand the stars and the moon that come. And I'm thinking, too deep. You overthought this when you overshot it. I ran across one of the libs from TikTok that dropped some garbage. And I wonder how much she knows. And that's the problem. She don't know, because she wouldn't be saying these things online if she knew how stupid she sound. So I thought we could all enjoy this deep moment together. Should we rescue her? Because she's so deep. She's in the deep end. She's drowning. Should we rescue her? Let's see what she's talking about, y'all. See if she could drop some knowledge on us. Oh, so deep you're drowning.
The reason why I don't use the term good morning, did you know back in the slavery days after the...
Right there. Do you know why I don't use the term good morning? The reason why is back in the slavery days, those two things should not even correlate. Right off grip, my eyebrow went up. If I hadn't watched this video prior to uploading it, the opening statement, my eyebrow would have went out. I had to give her to Steve Austin. I'd have had to give her to Rock. I'd have had to give her to Bionic Man's eyebrow. No. Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. I had to do it. So now we are somehow connecting the term or the phrase good morning to slavery. So let's go. Here we go.
Masters had beaten us, taken our children, raped us, hung us, burned us.
What? All in the morning? I'm trying to figure out how this is going to play into the term or statement good morning. So what, was it morning to set it off? When morning would come, Massa would get mad and say, dang on it, every time the sun rises, I feel like whipping and beating and burning and all that stuff, man. Yeah, that's right, because it gets hot. And when it gets hot, I get all irritated. I'm trying to figure out right now. I'm trying to give her the benefit of the doubt. I'm like, where's she going with this? Where is she going with this? This is this kind of conversation that would ruin a first date. You sitting there, she's like, you know what? You want to know why I don't use the term good morning? And you're sitting across from her going, where's she going with this? Where's she going with this? And when she concludes, you will conclude the date. Check, please. Let's continue.
And then left us in a dark shed overnight. Okay. They would literally open up the door and they would greet us by saying, did you have a good morning? Meaning, did you cry all night over the things that we've done to your loved ones?
Aren't those two different types of mourning? I'm just wondering, maybe she don't understand there's two contexts to. That's when you're trying to find something to be mad about. This is where you're trying to set yourself apart as being deep, but you really set yourself apart as being crazy. Now, so let me understand. Massa would open the door and say, good morning. Okay, now, first of all, I never heard of this. But even if he said good morning, did you have a good night? Good morning. Do you think that he was meaning you guys were up all night mourning over what we did yesterday? Did she ever stop to think, when did the term or definition or statement and phrase of good morning start? Did it start with slavery? This is a phrase or an expression that has been being used way before the slaves were brought here. Over in Europe, this was a phrase that became popular. Good morning. Good morning. But now what she's going to do is eliminate that out of her vocabulary, because her interpretation of good morning is weeping. Weeping all night. Now you're looking for reasons to be mad. So what do you use? Happy sunrise? Happy wake up day? This is crazy. How do you define what is morning, what is night? Yeah, so we don't have a morning anymore? I guess the actual morning means weeping? This is nuts. This is ludicrous, man. I wonder if she got a boyfriend. If she do, he's probably just as deep as her, because I don't see how anybody can be rational and put up with somebody who thinks like this. That means everything they look at, they're trying to find some type of grievance in it. They're looking at stuff and say, you know what, man? The reason why I don't look at light, because light is white. And when they talk about light being white, they want everything to be bright. You hear what I'm saying? And it ain't all right. And I'm going, are you just doing nursery rhymes, or are you trying to actually convince me that light is white and bright? These are the things that they would do. So there it is, y'all. And look how she dismounts this deep statement, y'all.
So this is the reason why I took good morning out of my vocabulary.
Because you're crazy. Because you are a lib that ended up making a cameo appearance on Libs of TikTok. You know, when you end up making a cameo appearance on Libs of TikTok, you might be special. People call it, hey, did you see it, girl? They picked up your video on Libs of TikTok. It's not a good thing. If you're on that site, it's not a good thing. So here she is. She done took it out to her vocabulary. So now wherever she works, if she got a job, because see, when you're this deep, you might have to work from home. You might have to be isolated. You can't be around people. For the simple fact, anything can set you off. Coming in with your coffee. Hey, how you doing? Good morning. What did you say to me, you white nationalist? I just said good morning. Are you trying to beat me? You trying to whip me? You want to know if I was up all night weeping in a well because a massa beat me? Actually, I was just saying good morning. Yeah, Yeah, that's what you telling me, but I know what you really meant. I'm going to HR. This will be this person. So she can't work around people because she be looking for this kind of stuff in everything. So, yep, she done took it out of her vocabulary. And I don't know even how to say anything to her. If I knew her, I mean, if you were married to her, you wake up in the morning, you got to be like, glad you woke up. I mean, you can't say good morning no more. She took it out of her vocabulary.
Because truly, if you think about it, there is absolutely nothing good about mourning.
Holy moly! Because truly, if you think about it, what I'm about to say sounds like the dumbest thing I've ever heard come out of anybody. So if you think about it, there's nothing good that comes out of mourning, except for me waking up for another day. It's better than the alternative. Because I guess now mourning doesn't mean mourning. Mourning means weeping. So one, I guess I just wake up to another day, not a morning. But I think there's a lot of good about morning. You know, birds singing, the sunlight coming through the window, shining on your face, makes you feel good. You know, sun is coming up. You know, the darkest part of night is right before dawn. It's kind of symbolic. There's so many good things that come from the morning. You know, just the fact that you wake up going, I got another shot at the title today. But her, she can't appreciate it because what she's saying is nothing good comes out of mourning. So I guess there's only one type of mourning to her, and that is mourning by being sorrowful and downtrodden. And I'm going, you're done. And I can't rescue you because you're so deep, you're beyond rescue. And then she ends with this statement that I don't know what it means.
Ashe, ashe.
Ashe. I don't know what that means. Ashe. I say, boy, listen to this girl right there. I say that girl is about as sharp as a bowling ball. So there you have it. Ashe. Boy, I tell you, it's crazy how people who think like this, they think that they are so enlightened. But all you have to do is just like show this video and the masses will speak. There are very few when it comes down to the majority of humans. There's very few people who's running around with this mentality, but they are so arrogant and narcissistic that they think that there's a lot of people who would listen to something like this and go, that's deep. You gave me a revelation. And that is why they choose to get online and do this stuff. They don't realize that when you blast this out to the world, the majority of people will listen to this shite and go, this chick's nuts. Absolutely nuts. But in her head, she's going to acquire all this attention and people are going to be, girl, that is so deep. Oh, yeah. Hey, shorty, I was listening to your video, man. And you know what, man? I feel you. No, I would be that guy that would set her up. Make sure I send some nice, handsome profile shots of me. Mm-hmm. Hey, how you doing, girl? How you doing? I watched your video last night. You did? What you think? I think you're crazy. That's what I think. Absolutely not. Sin. There you go. So, yep, she's so deep, she's drowning. Anyway, let's get into something that I didn't get to touch on and I mentioned a couple of days ago. And it deals with, of course, something that's going on at the border. That's an issue for me. We heard about it during the debates. Trump brought it up, and so did Biden, which he probably shouldn't have brought up. But for some reason, his broke brain thought it was a good idea to go from abortion to Lake and Riley and illegal immigrant and all that stuff. But I was going to actually talk about this video prior to the debate. But when the debate came up, and I'm like, oh, man, let me cover that. But this kind of ties in. And it deals with Dr. Phil, who knows the deal. Did y'all know this was happening? Let's see.
More than 50 migrants with potential ties to an ISIS-affiliated smuggling network are at large in America. What? Tonight, NBC News has learned more than 50 migrants with potential ties to an ISIS-affiliated smuggling network are at large in America.
Now, right off grip, I'm concerned. For the simple fact, why is there an ISIS terrorist smuggling network, period? Why is it that ISIS feels they need to put together a smuggling network because of America? And they're probably following the cartel's playbook that really only exists because of mucus and Biden. That's how this ties into the debate. And if I was Trump, if I'd have knew this before going out there, I would have dropped that big nugget right on his head. Did you know that under your border, your open border policies, we got 50 terrorists that got snuck in by ISIS? So that means they're exploiting this. That means they're looking at this and says, wait, under Trump, we had a travel ban against certain countries, but now that's lifted. Now we can come in and say we're coming from wherever, and nobody will even suspect. So now they done figured out a way to smuggle ISIS members into the United States. Now, I'm always cautious and careful when information is being released. And I'm sad that I have to get to the point where I got to always say, well, let me not just react to everything that the news reports on or shovels, especially when it comes out of the fake news, because I think if it sounds bad for the Democrats, or if it's something that might poorly reflect on their policies, my question is, why is the fake news releasing this or talking about it? Are they planning something? Are they setting us up for, it's crazy that you got to start thinking like this. Like, I know that probably terrorists have come across the border, but I also don't want to get another false flag. I don't want to get set up for something like that. I'm always going, yeah, I got to take it with a grain of salt. But my question is, I do know this. Even if they're saying stuff like this and it's not true, I guarantee it's still true. Same thing when they come out and they start telling us that it's stuff like, we got a lot of people coming across, but not all of them are murderers, but we did find some of them. But you got to understand the amount of people that's over here. Whether there's not a lot in your eyes doesn't mean it's not a lot. It just means that we haven't discovered them yet. That's what it means. See, so even if this is true, accurate, or whatever, I do know this, based on the amount of folks that have been coming across that border from all these other countries, you can't tell me that no terrorist from somewhere has not snuck into this country. And my question also becomes, if this is accurate, how many other folks are here? So whether it's a false flag or they're setting something up for something else, it don't matter. I know one thing, danger. That's what I know. It could be that they're saying, oh, we caught 50 of them. And in reality, yeah, you might not have done that and you're setting whatever up, but there's about 1,000 or so of them really here. You just don't know it or haven't caught them, Or it could be, we got 50, but we don't know how many more are here. We don't know. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give this, little clip the benefit of the doubt. The fact that they're reporting this, at least somebody should be running up on the White House with their microphone, asking Black Gate Drop about these 50 ISIS people that were smuggled in through our border. So let's go ahead and see what this is all about.
Many illegally crossed the border and were released into the U.S. by Border Patrol because there was no information suggesting terror ties.
Bingo. There was no information suggesting terrorist ties. Now, what do you want Border Patrol to do? When the director, Milkas, is telling these people to bring these folks and process them into the country, record-breaking time, 72 hours, I think, something like that. You're flooded with these people. You're not even able to really dive into their background. And the crazy part is they're coming from all over the globe. All over the globe. It would be different if they were all from South America. And yeah, you might call this a stereotype, but I think it's just an observation. If all of them were of Latin descent, you probably could write off the possibility of a radical Islamic terrorist, unless he is an Islamic terrorist that looks and sounds Latin. But when you have them coming in and you're going, obviously these people are from the Middle East. These people are from Africa. These people are from India. These people are from China. These people are from, how in the world can you eliminate through process of elimination based on race? The fact that, okay, least the folks from Latin descent are connected to our continent. That's one way to just wipe out the possibility of some, evil folks coming in from other countries outside of the South American continent. But we haven't even limited it to that. We didn't open it up for asylum to everybody. China, which we're going to be talking about in a quick second. So now, how can you vet this? How are you going to get some data from all of these people coming in from China, from Africa, even from South America? Do you think that MS-13 members are going to bring their rap sheet and show it to DHS or show it to you think if you are a radical Islamic terrorist, you think you're going to come over and be like, here's my resume. I blew up many mosques. I destroyed many lives. I believe in death to all. You're not going to do that. You're going to come in like, I have nothing. And I'm running because I'm scared. And all they can do is go, all right, I got to trust you. You don't get in here and do nothing crazy, okay? There you go. What's your name again? Did you got the makeup? You're about to make up? Okay. So they give them this info, send them on in. Now, we either got to background check them as an afterthought or wait until they do something. So apparently, they figured out that these people have been smuggled in and so-called vetted through DHS, and now they got caught in the Homeland Interior.
Time. Now their whereabouts are unknown as immigration agents look to arrest them. U.S. officials tell.
So we don't know where they're at? We lost them? Did they ever find the 85,000 or so missing kids? Because I heard Biden talking about, man, Trump he wants to rip kids from their mother's wombs and rip kids from the... I heard him talking about that, but he's not talking about the missing kids that they lost. But now all of a sudden, they can't find the kids. They can't find these terrorists. Could be right in the store where you're at right now. All the liberals who's running around talking about we should have open borders. And you know what? These people are simply coming. And America's a melting pot. They could be doing whatever, playing whatever in your area. And yet, I guess your liberalism makes you say it's an acceptable risk. As long as I can feel good about bringing folks in from all over the globe for a better life. I don't care if a few of them come in for terroristic reasons. The rest of them, the majority, want a better life. There's just a small percentage want to take advantage of American citizens, possibly harm them, possibly do the R thing to some of the women that we've been hearing about. There's just a few of them that might be coming in from China, that might be plants. And who knows, God knows what they're going to do when they get here and get settled in. It's just a few of them that might be coming in from radical Islamic countries that might want to do something crazy to our citizens. It's just a few of them. Don't worry about those. See, it's stupid thinking like that, man. So now here we are. We're in a situation where now they got to go hunt these dudes down.
Ellis, saying they're among a group of over 400 migrants DHS identified in the U.S. from Tajikistan, Uzbekistan, Moldova, Kyrgyzstan, Georgia, and Russia.
You see the stupidity? Now do you see how dumb our leaders are? Y'all got one job as the director of Homeland Security. Secure the freaking border, the homeland. It's ridiculous to me that these so-called smart, competent people don't realize by opening up, sending out the worldwide message that America is open for business. They didn't think that people from other continents would look and say, oh, very good, very good. Opportunity. We have done Biden. Send ISIS. Send Chinese nationals. Send them all. That's why I say foot up the butt. The people who did this on purpose needs a butt kicking. That's what they need. So now we got all these countries that have come in. We got China, Russia. See, they always talking about, you know what? That Trump never mentions the white countries and stuff like. So now we got Russia. Isn't that the country they hate so much? The Democrats hate so much. So we got people coming in from every corner of the earth.
as subjects of concern because they were brought to the U.S. by an ISIS-affiliated smuggling network, something the FBI director warned about earlier this year.
Some of the overseas facilitators of the smuggling network have ISIS ties that we're very concerned about.
ICE has located and arrested over 150 of the 400 migrants so far, with some already deported from the U.S., officials say.
So 400 of them, they found 150. We don't know where the rest are. Don't know where the rest are. Somebody said fist up, but yeah, they need all kind of business given to them. They are horrible, man. Absolutely horrible. They need some type of charges brought up. This is a crime against our country. So now what are we going to do about this? Hope for the best. Hope these people come here and have repented. They hopefully they come here and they're not really ISIS members. They just got, smuggled in through this ISIS smuggling ring. But they haven't adopted the mentality of ISIS. They're not domestic terrorists. They just use ISIS to get them here. Yeah, they have no real affiliation. You think ISIS would invest their time into help smuggling people over here that are not on board with their ideology? They're only going to try to smuggle in folks that can do the will of ISIS. So, got to track them down now, I guess.
Adding authorities are not panicking because their ties to ISIS are not certain, but they're prioritizing their arrest out of...
Not certain. So wait, you can go ahead and use the cartel, or you can use ISIS smuggling ring. I get what are they, travel agencies now? I mean, it's crazy. So don't worry, we're not affiliated with terrorism. This is just the ISIS traveling agency. That is it. The people who are coming, if they come in through being smuggled in through ISIS, are part of ISIS. I can't even believe they put that in the comment.
Of an abundance of caution.
The problem is the volume of people coming across the southern border, individuals from ISIS and other affiliated groups have recognized it as a weak point in our defense.
Bingo.
And they're using this opportunity to try to sneak in.
So the real problem, what you're saying, is that our government have opened up the door for these people to recognize that this is a weak point to come in. So granted, you might want to go ahead and say, here's the problem. These people are recognizing it, but they can only recognize what our own leaders have done. They weren't doing this under Trump. So they recognize we got a weak government. We got a weak leader. We got a weak DHS director. We got everything going on in our country looking weak. So why not take advantage of your enemy when they are weakened?
NBC News was first to report on a similar arrest of a Uzbek man in Baltimore, whose country alerted the U.S. he was affiliated with ISIS.
Well, look at that.
That man, like the others apprehended so far, was arrested on immigration charges, not terrorism-related charges.
Oh, yeah, because we want to downplay that right there. This is immigration charges, not terrorist charges. I'm telling you, man, these folks better be glad I don't have like one day of complete king-like powers. King-like powers where I don't have to, I can just go ahead and say, all right, here's an edict. I would have all these folks thrown in the gulags because these people right here know that all of these policies have put our whole country in danger. Whole country. Now, I might go ahead and subvert our legal, I'll be like, all right, we already know Mucus is guilty of this. Throw him in the slammer. Can I get a trial? No, we tried to impeach you and they denied that. I'm the king for the day. Go ahead, Mucus. Take him away. Take him away. All right, next up, Joe Biden. Is Mucus under you? Does he work for you? Yes, but I don't know what he's doing because I don't know stuff. That has nothing to do with me. Take him away. Take him away too. All of them.
ISIS-K has claimed responsibility for deadly terror attacks in Russia and Iran in the past year. And recently, the DHS Inspector General sharply criticizing vetting at the U.S. southern border, saying DHS is at risk of admitting dangerous persons into the country or enabling asylum seekers who may pose significant threats to public safety and national security to continue to reside in the United States.
So what you're saying is the DHS director, Mucus, is not doing his job. He's weak. Yeah, he's corrupt. Now, what I would be mad about is if Biden gets his butt beat in November. However, the leftover residual damage leaves people in the country to do something under Trump's watch. So if I'm Trump, I am full press getting all these people out of here. I don't want it to turn out that they waited right good till Trump was president, then they do something and everybody tries to blame Trump. Under Trump's watch, something crazy happened. Under Trump's watch. But if these people have come in under Biden's watch, don't be contributing this to Trump. So if I'm Trump, I'm going, hey, man, we got to go pedal to the metal. I want every potential terrorist rounded up. Matter of fact, we can skip whether they're terrorists or not. It's every illegal immigrant. Therefore, you cover all your bases. Every illegal immigrant. Don't go through and try to cherry pick which illegal immigrants are, potential thieves, drug dealers, and the R word and all of that stuff. We're going to start with you first. No, go through a full sweep. We can't take the chance. No time for, all right, you guys stand over here and you guys stand over here. And all right, it's obvious these people are the one. Everybody who came across this border the wrong way is illegal. Take them away. Take them back. All right. That's how I feel about it. Just take them back and do it quick.
Two senior law enforcement officials told NBC News they are not tracking a terror plot from this group of migrants, but their arrest on immigration charges come out of an abundance of caution.
Yeah.
Doc, I think that clip right there illustrates the concern of your audience members, because if we are going to let in, say, 7 to 10 million people in 3 years, 3+ years, which is what we've done, some of them are going to have bad intentions.
There you go. It's a numbers game. The more people you let in the country, do you think it's going to be a smaller percentage of people that are bad actors? You think you're going to let in more people, but the percentage of bad actors goes down? No, it's all relative. More people you let in, more criminals, more potential terrorists, more evil actors. So let's see what the doc got to say, because isn't he supposed to just be a psychologist or therapist, whatever he does? Or is he still rational enough to drop this type of reaction to what's going on?
Well, we would be totally narcissistic and naive to believe, one, that some of them don't have bad intentions, and two, that we know who all of these people are and where they are.
Maybe you should go ahead and counsel mucus. That's what you should do, Doc. Or Biden, but he's beyond counseling. He's done. Get him out the way. So mucus don't know this. Why does the good doctor know that? See, if you are naive enough to think everybody's coming for a better life, and the majority of them won't do anything and all of this stuff and this and that, you're really naive. You're stupid. That's why we know these Democrats that have allowed this are evil. They are not that naive. They're just willing to accept the risk of something happening based on their potential gain. That's why they're okay with this, and they're playing dumb. And they're playing like this a virtual thing. We got to do this because it's the right thing, and these people need help and this and that. And we all know it's shite what they're trying to drop down on us. So now he's saying you got to be stupid if you think you could bring all of these people in here and think that they all have good intentions and think that we can properly vet them. Now, if we as common people, I ain't got to be Dr. Phil, if me as a common person could sit back and say, yeah, that sounds pretty stupid. I mean, yeah, these people have no backgrounds. They are coming from countries with broken governments. You think those governments are going to have records on them? And even if they did, if they managed to get out their country, do you think they're going to bring their portfolio with them? Boy, what else, Doc?
In 2023, we had thousands and thousands of Chinese nationals come across the border, particularly down south of San Diego.
How, Doc? How is this possible that we could have thousands and thousands of Chinese nationals coming across our border? Is China connected to the South American continent? Did all of these folks swim across the ocean to get here? I'm just curious of how they got here. Did they all somehow, thousands of them, escape the Chinese military, the Chinese communist country that keeps an eye on all of their citizens? How'd they do it? How'd they do it? This is fascinating to me. Yeah. Why didn't Joe Biden try to stop this? Or does he can't do nothing because of Chi, his buddy, who he got that $1.5 billion deal? Could that be it? Listen, Joseph Biden, I am going to send some Chinese nationals to you, along with that balloon that flew over your continent for 1 whole week. Don't you stop my Chinese nationalists from coming into your country, or you won't get the $1.5 billion deal. Got it, Chi. All over. Let them all in.
And many of them were military-age men. And
military. I thought that was all women and children. So wait, military-age men, folks that could do damage, still got a little pep in their step. What do you think? Maybe perhaps they might be up to, Doc Phil? That's what I want to know. What did they look like?
Seen some of these, and let me tell you, Dave, these guys, they've all got the same haircuts.
All got the same haircuts. What group of people normally are unified like that? Y'all remember the movie Stripes? There she was, just a walking down the street, singing do-wah diddy-diddy-dum diddy-do, over the lazy dog. Y'all remember Stripes? First thing happened when they got into basics. So now they all got like military style haircuts. What else, Doc?
They've all got very similar backpacks. They've
all got very similar. Don't worry. We all shopped at the same store. Same Swift store before we came to America. All got similar backpacks. Almost like they were issued to them.
All got very similar combat boots on.
All got some. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. But I'm thinking perhaps they might be soldiers. I'm just saying. Haircuts, backpacks, boots. What else?
They're all in really good shape. I mean, these guys look like they've just...
Who could put these context clues together? Not me. Yeah, not the DHS director. So wait, let me get this straight. Let's give them a benefit of the doubt. They're all in great shape. Look like they just came out of Bud's training, but we don't want to stereotype them because as being mucus, the evil person that I am, I want more people coming into the country to destroy us. So now we got all of these folks from China, 40,000 or so, and I saw video footage of them trying to talk to these dudes. These dudes ain't on it. They're not sitting there giving interviews like some of the folks from South America who's like, oh yeah, some of the folks coming from Africa. Where you from? Yemen. Where you from? The Chinese dudes are like, don't speak to me. Interesting.
Come out of basic training. And
where are the women? Where are the children? Where are the grandmas?
And how did they get here? Look, you don't just wake up in China and say, hey, I think I'll go to the United States. It costs a lot of money. You've got to get out of China. They're being sent. They're not just going off on a lark and saying, I think I'll go to Disney World or something. It's not easy to get here. And when you've got thousands, tens of thousands of people that could very well have a bad agenda, and they get into the country and spread out. The worst case scenario is if we've got 4,000 or 5,000 people in maybe 20 different states within the United States that all of a sudden make a coordinated attack on our energy grids. Man, we could be back in a real third world country sort of scenario overnight. And we have no idea who these people are or where they are. And to me, that...
So you see the danger that the Biden administration has put us in. I mean, during the debate, you didn't even have enough time to cover the openings and the danger and the policies and the decisions that the Biden administration has made to create all of this danger potential for our country. So now, that right there, I have to think like my enemy. Send a whole bunch of Chinese young, fit nationals to America. Yeah, that's phase. No, here's phase one. Find a corrupt, evil, stinking, greedy politician to manipulate. That's the first thing you got to do if you're China. And probably multiple ones, because it seems like nobody's tough on China. Nobody's tough on China. So you find one of those first. Then you take advantage of his crackhead son, and their greed. See, these are all phases that if I was the enemy and wanted to infiltrate the United States from the inside out, I would do it. Find me a greedy politician, get his crackhead son, see how these folks can put together some bootleg business networks, and so they could justify their money laundering or whatever. Make sure you provide stuff for them that you can hold over their head, so when you want to do evil stuff, they can't really say nothing to you. Then when you get their regime opening up the border, you somehow turn the other way and pretend you don't know that thousands of your citizens, who China knows where everybody is doing and where they're going. But now all of a sudden, we just lost like 40,000 of them. We don't know how they got out of China. Huh? We must have a leak. So you allow all of these folks to come to the country and spread out. Once they spread out, then what? Then what? So you're going to leave it now up to the next regime to go ahead and have to deal with this headache or potential danger. So now you got to track down Chinese nationals. You got to track down potential radical Islamic terrorists. You got to track down criminals from South America. Do you see the crap storm that the Biden administration has created? And you telling me these folks don't need to be brought up on some type of charges? They have desecrated the border, and they have created a huge problem for us. It's almost like they want to see something bad happen to America. Because if they were protecting America like their own house, you think they would do this? These are stupid things. Stupid things. You sitting there, you know everybody in the neighborhood don't like you. You walk in or you seeing the gang members, you know the gang colors, you know the tats and stuff like that. But yet at the same time, you don't want to go ahead and say, I don't want to keep this person from, coming into my house for the simple fact, just because they have teardrops and stuff all down their face and they're rocking the red bandanas and things like that. I don't want to stereotype and think they're part of the Crips. So let them in. You're stupid. You're very naive and stupid. Or else you got another motive. Are you trying to get the family members hurt? Are you trying to get our house shot up? What are you doing making horrible choices like that? I'm thinking no self-aware, no protection. These aren't even decisions that someone would make if they were in self-survival mode. So apparently these politicians that's doing this aren't worried about their safety. Because if they were worried about their safety, they'd be going, man, we don't want these Chinese nationals over here. What if they do something that could affect me? I don't want all these illegal immigrants from South America that might come out of gangs and MS-13 over here because they're getting shoved in my neighborhood and that might affect me. None of them thinks like that because they're going, it don't affect us. It probably might or could happen, but hey, as long as it ain't happening to me, they're not even looking at the long-term potential damage. And what he brought up is that grid, something happens to that, we're in trouble. Because guess what? We might have to get a whole bunch of parts from who? China.
Is criminal negligence that we have allowed these people to come in, and we don't know where they are, and we don't know what they're doing, and we don't know what their agenda is.
Thank you, Dr. Phil. Which ties into what we're going to close out with, which is my man, Mark Robinson, who dropped one of the tightest messages ever. If you don't know who he is, check him out. Think he's running for governor for North Carolina. And I hope to God he wins. Listen to this speech. I love this guy.
All these other guys that come out here and talk to you about the issues, we know the issues. The wide open border, crime on the street, fentanyl killing our children, pornography in our school. We know about the issues. The failing economy, the precarious place the United States finds itself in on the world stage with its enemies. The horrible, absolutely dreadful administration that is currently leading our nation right now.
Now look at that. He came out the blocks, full speed. There you go. Yeah, he's running a full-blown sprint. So now he just dropped all of these issues that are a result of the current administration. And yet Biden gets on TV the other night. Our administration's done stuff and we did this and that. And I'm going, you did everything this man just said. Kamala Harris, you have to look at all the things that the president has done these last 3.5 years. And we are. He just told us. I don't care how they spin all of this. Somebody said, this is live. Yes, it is live, Ray. I don't care how they spin all the accomplishments of the Biden administration. That's the real truth. I'm glad that this man right here is telling it like it is. All of us with common sense and observational skills have been seeing what he's describing. And you wonder why Biden's poll numbers are in the tank.
It is mind-numbing to think that the most energetic, greatest nation on earth,
right,
people seek to come to for that vaunted thing that we have, the freedom and energy and intelligence that we have in this country. And all 350 million people are being led by somebody who just barely knows that they're here on earth.
It is mind-blowing. That's why I wake up sometime and try to pinch myself and figure out, oh, maybe I've been dreaming this for the last 3.5, 4 years. Just maybe. Just maybe. Maybe I'm going to wake up from this nightmare and say, there is no way the most powerful country on the planet is being ruled by this zombie walking around. There's no way we got enough Americans dumb enough not to see what they're doing to our country. There's no way Americans would be okay with this man walking around, can't talk, can't walk, and yet they're still considering voting for this dude. No way. You could not tell me that. I really want to smack myself like, okay, Kev, at some point I'm going to come wake up and be like, whoo, man, that was, you ever had one of those where you are stuck in a dream and it seems so real, and that moment of relief and glee hits you when you realize, oh, thank God that was just a dream. Thank goodness. Yeah. You've had some of those. I've had one where I was under the water and they had this glass over it inside of a swimming pool. I went to come up and I hit the glass and I'm going across the glass. I couldn't get out, probably watched too many movies. And when I woke up, I literally woke up like, I had been holding my breath the whole time while I was asleep. Do you understand the glee? Because I was almost out of breath in the dream. And I'm thinking, man, if that wasn't a dream, I'd be dead. Be dead. Same thing right now. If this nightmare don't end, our country is dead. We got to end this nightmare.
What I really came here to do, I came here to get something started. See, because we got a problem in this country.
Get it started.
We got a bunch of clapper-trap people that sit behind news media desks and want to talk about fake trials for President Trump. Turn the television on and talking about first one actor and then another actor. Talking about all manners of foolishness.
Well.
Talking about MAGA Republicans being the most dangerous people on earth.
Yeah, that's the rumor. I'm feeling this dude right about now. So we're supposed to hear all these people talk about Trump and all these indictments and look at all the charges and look at all the conviction and this and that and take it seriously. All foolishness, Mark. That is why they're mad that we are not buying into these accusations and indictments. That's why they're scratching their thumbs, wondering, why isn't his poll numbers falling? We use the lawfare. We use the media to push the narratives. We called him a convicted felon. How many times? Like a zillion times already. We did all of this. We impeached him twice. They can't understand why all of us are going, all of the good stuff that came out of Trump's policies has been erased by this zombie, this walking corpse. While we also recognize the zombie, the walking corpse, and all of his cronies are trying to stop the man who created all of these wonderful policies that the zombie erased. We all see it. We're supposed to be that naive to think that these are legitimate cases and charges, invest all types of energy and mind, dedication into, well, let's find out what are the charges, what do they mean, what's the count and all this stuff, and what could happen if he's convicted of it. I'm not even entertaining that because I know the whole basis of all of that is corrupt. So I'm not going to entertain it and justify it by pretending this is deep and we need to really go into it and all that. It's all fake. No need. So now here he is saying that's foolishness. And somehow we are being ran by a walking Muppet.
I don't know. I don't see any MAGA Republicans on 9/11 blowing up buildings and airplanes.
Good point. Yeah. And see, the same Muppet and his crew and the media. This is how I know. This is a nightmare. When the news are on board with demonizing half the country. Have you ever thought that we would be seeing our so-called news networks openly vilify half of the country. The rural areas are white nationalists. The rural areas are the Anglo-Saxon Christian nationalists. The Trump supporters are white supremacists. And I'm saying this is the news. These are people who are supposed to be protecting the public and being a guardian and a liaison between. They have straight jumped on board and decided without any evidence. We know it ain't true, but we want to convince half the country that the other half of the country is evil and a danger and a threat with no proof. They get out the greatest threat to the homeland is white supremacy. MAGA Republicans is the greatest threat. And don't show no video footage. Don't come back with no statistics showing how many MAGA folks have been running around burning down buildings, dragging folks out their car, beating them, doing all the stuff that we watch radical Democrat operatives and voters and activists, all the stuff we've been hearing them do, seeing them do, all of that. So he gets it, but yet it's MAGA. MAGA folks are the most dangerous.
I don't think any MAGA Republicans were over in Israel murdering people.
Well,
I don't think a MAGA Republican gave them the money to be able to do it.
No,
so
Biden
we got
did.
folks in this country that don't want to talk about the substantive issues that all of us face.
Go on, preach.
Things that we just talked about, that wide open border.
Yeah.
Various place we find ourselves with safety and security in the world, on the world stage.
There you go, Mark. Because see, Mark gets it. We don't want to talk about that, huh, Biden? That wide open border that have put all of us in danger. But yet we're the most powerful, technically advanced country on the planet. As Biden would say, and we're the envy of the world. And every other leader would like to trade places with me. No, I wouldn't want to be dumb. I wouldn't want to trade places with you, pooping on myself. Soon as I become you, I take a doo-doo right in my pants. See, I don't want to trade places with you, Biden, where you don't have no real control over what's going on in the country. You don't even know. Hey, somebody else is ruling you. These other countries, if they're looking at us as the envy, then they should be opening up their borders. They should be going, look what Biden's doing. It's working out great for him and his citizens. That's such a smart policy. We should adopt it here. But isn't it odd that no other country is doing what this fool is doing? They're all going, that's crazy. However, let's take advantage of it. Let's send all of our riffraff there. Let's get rid of all of our prisoners. Let's get rid of all of our mentally compromised folks. Let's get rid of all of our criminals. Yeah, that's what they're doing. But this guy thinks he's the envy. The envy. America's the envy of stupidity.
They don't want to talk about your pocketbook. They don't want to talk about the fact that your children are in schools where we spend millions upon millions upon millions of dollars for those schools, and the children can't read on the grade level. What? They don't want to talk about that. They don't want to talk about the fact that every single solitary policy that they propose and then pass yields horrible results.
Well. Mark, you done got me. I better go get a church fan. That's what I need to do. I might need to get the mothers to come out with the church blankets. So now let me get this straight. This man has said what I've been saying this whole time. I can't think of one policy that hasn't, yielded horrific results from the Biden administration. As they get on TV and try to gaslight us and talk about, look at what our policies have done and all of the wonderful things that's come out of it. And I'm saying, your policies have led to the worst I've seen the United States in my lifetime. I've only read in books about worse times in America than what I'm living in. That's why I hope it's a nightmare, but it's not. It's not. So let's continue. What else, Mark? Because I'm about to get happy. I'm starting to taste stuff. Preach.
They don't want to talk about it. Why? Because it proves an essential truth. What is that truth?
Tell me the truth.
The simple truth of the matter is this. They call us the right. We sit on the right.
Okay.
And we not only get called the right and call ourselves the right and sit on the right.
Okay.
We are right.
What? Shama. Coming on a Honda. Shama. Y'all hear that? Yeah, we sit on the right. We call ourselves the right because we are right. And the left is out in left field. They're out in left field. See, so that's beautifully put. Now, what do you mean? What do you mean, right, Mark? What do you mean, right? Give us some examples that makes us proud, not arrogant, but proud to be on the right because we know we're right about stuff that we shouldn't have to be arrogant to say I agree with, or this is my view on it. You should have some type of either common sense or morality to identify with the characteristics of the right, which is not deep, not far right. It's common sense. It's having a basic moral compass, things like that. That's what we're saying. So, Mark, give me some examples of why you would say such a statement, because I'm sure the left would say, how arrogant.
We are right about every single solitary issue.
Yeah.
When we say, shut that border down and deport those who are dangerous to our country,
what?
We are right.
Well, get up and shout. Hold on, let me get my shout on. There we go. Yeah, had to get the shout on. I had to get the shout on. Y'all hear that? Now what? Are we wrong? Are we wrong for saying, shut the border? Close that down. You don't see the danger? I just gave you examples. I just showed you Dr. Phil in that report that shows how dangerous having that border is. Wide open, how dangerous it is. And yet this man says, we are, and I'm going, I am 100% confident. Unlike the left, I know everybody thinks they're right. But at some point, you got to draw the line and say, okay, let's deal with some reality, some facts. I'm not going to say I'm right based on emotions, all of that stuff. I'm going to look at this and say, that's stupid. It's irrational. It puts the whole country in danger. Therefore, I feel 100% confident when I say we should shut that border down, that I am right. 100% confident. Not arrogant, not guessing. Not just, well, you know what, I think I'm right because these people need a better life and look at the slavery and look at the indigenous people and we have taken this land from the... No, that's not facts. That's not going to back up my confidence in saying that we are right. I'm talking about the facts. So what else are we right about, Mark?
When we say children should not be sexualized, we are right.
Woo! Hey, that almost made me get up and shout again. When we say children shouldn't be sexualized, we are right. Now, here's the crazy part about it. About 10, 15 years ago, the majority of the country, right or left, would have said, you're darn right. But some folks decided to go left. Some folks was infected with a mind virus called liberalism. And now they question whether this is moral or not. Kids being subjected to pornography in schools. You'll never get me to agree that that is okay. I would go to the grave saying it's wrong. And we are right about that. Get your hands out of the schools. So, Mark, what else? What else? You're batting 1,000.
This nation knows it. When we say that it's your money, you earned it, you worked for it, the government should not be picking your pocket. We are right.
We are right. Now, I can't even imagine. I'm sorry. I forgot that the left have communists / Marxists / fascists, people like that. Socialists. Yeah, I forgot that they got those people now in their party. They openly talk about, I'm a Democrat, socialist. It used to be every American you would hear from would go, you know what sucks? Is paying extra or stupid taxes. Even the most liberal person can relate to my money. So now when we talk about lowering taxes and keeping more money in your pockets and keeping the government out of your business and out of your money, I'm thinking, how could you go wrong with that? But we got some folks out there that think we should be able to take your goods, do what we want, send your money over to Ukraine, send your money over there to transgender studies in Pakistan. You got folks out there thinking like this, and I'm going, you think you're right. How can you think that? That right there, you must, I know what it is. You're using everybody else's money. That's what it is. That's what it is. You want to. See, but when you come over here to the right side of things, you're going, hey, man, I don't want to know that my money is going to studies of how fish can be transgender. I don't want to know that. What else, Mark?
See, we are right. Too many of us are ashamed to be right.
Not me.
Some of us, we go to work and folks start talking about politics and start standing up saying, I think Joe Biden's doing a wonderful job. And he's a nice man.
He is nice.
Because that President Trump is just mean.
He's so mean.
I just don't like the things that he says. He's just mean and arrogant, and he's a bully.
Suck it up, Buttercup. That's my response to all of them people. Smack them. Get out your feelings. Get out. Now get back into reality. Don't look at personality. Look at reality. Okay? Now let's continue, Mark.
If I hear that one more time, I'm going to go crazy.
Yeah.
This man is fighting.
Who?
Let's list the people he's fighting.
Who?
He's fighting almost the entire news media.
You need to be a bully. You need to be a bully to fight these evil folks. We seen their work. They're the real bullies. Mr. President, how you feel at being a white nationalist? Mr. President, are you and your administration going to bring back slavery? Mr. President, what about... You need to be a bully. You need to be a bigger bully than those bullies. So I don't see what the problem is. Yeah, Trump got the perfect temperament and personality to deal with the enemies that are trying to take him out. And folks like, he seems like he's a bully and not presidential. What else? Who else is he fighting against?
He's fighting all the Democrats.
You got to be a bully for them. Every one of them grabbing a mic. The president is definitely a white nationalist, and everything that they do and all their policies are stemming from systemic racism and white supremacy. And they hate women. They hate kids. You think these people won't run over you like a freight train if you don't present yourself as tough? You got to be tough to deal with these folks. So that's why I tell all these people, suck it up, Buttercup. What else? Who else is he fighting, Mark?
He's fighting all the communists.
Come on. You know, you got to be tough to be fighting the communists in our country. Yeah, unfortunately, somebody back in the day left the door open, and now we done slid in some communists that have indoctrinated many Americans' minds to where they don't even recognize it. They don't even blink when you start hearing people talk about, I'm a democratic socialist. Oh, okay, that's cool. What's that? Is that something new? We're gonna, okay, whatever. And I'm going, are you kidding me? Nobody, when Alexandria Cortex came out talking about, she declares herself as a Democrat socialist. And Bernie said, nobody's eyebrows went up and said, where could this lead to? The fact that nobody's even concerned about this. These are people openly talking about. Unbelievable. What else, Mark?
He's fighting all the socialists. He's fighting all of our enemies across the ocean.
Yep.
And
so now, understand, guys, like I was talking about the legal immigration issue, Chinese, folks from Africa, folks from Arab nations that could be all dangerous, folks from South America that could be, folks from Russia. Look at all of the stuff that Trump is going to have to deal with. You think somebody without a certain type of mentality and personality would be able to deal with that seriously? You think Biden wants to even deal with it? He's the one who created the mess. So Trump needs to be a bully. He needs to be tough to stand up to Putin, Kim Jong-un. It worked, didn't it? Little Rocket Man stopped shooting rockets, didn't he? Iran backed down, didn't they? So all of these folks who's whining over Trump, and he's a bully that keeps the country safe, keeps us out of war, keeps the border secure, I take the bully. It's better to be on the bully side than on the wimp side like Biden.
Sadly, he's fighting half the Republicans.
Bingo! Mark, you are dropping bolos tonight. Bolos. Half the darn Republicans. These raggedy behind rhinos who I throw them in the same category as the Democrats. Keep going, Mark.
How is this man a bully? How is he a bully? See, we hear that at work sometimes. Some of us are a little shy about stepping up, standing up, saying anything. People look at us and say, why are you a Republican? We say, well, my mom voted Republican. I like Ronald Reagan. I think he did a great job, and I like Reagan. And so that's why I'm a Republican. Yeah. We shy away from the truth. We don't want to look at that person and say, well, wasn't it the Republican Party that was formed to stand up for the Republic?
Not the democracy. I'm loving it, Mark. Drop it like it's hard. Drop it like it's hard. So wasn't it the Republic that did that? That stood up for, because all we hear is democracy. Democracy's on the ballot. Democracy, not the Republic. I think the Republic's on the ballot. But all we hear is democracy. Go ahead. Tell us a little more about this, Mark, because remember, the Democrats got a lot of people thinking that they wear the white hats. They're the ones that rescued America from evil racism, evil slavery, evil Jim Crow, evil, all of these things that they created. Just like they're also behind this raggedy border, horrible economy, horrible inflation, crime all over the place. Yeah, they're behind all that. They created, and they're doing the same thing, denying it, lying about it, pretending that they're solving it. Same thing they did when, they come out talking about we're fighting for the little man, we're fighting for the victimized people, that their whole party was responsible for, and now they're using all these narratives and pretending that they're the only party that's fighting against all of this evilness that comes from the past, that really came right from their party, Mark, but they won't tell you that.
Not the democracy like you see played on the news every day.
Yeah.
See, them folks want a democracy. They want the mob to rule. They don't want this republic. And they don't want Republicans standing up for the republic. You want to tell them that, wasn't it? Well, they say, well, the Republican Party is the party of old white men.
Yeah, that's what they say. What are you doing? What are you doing? Oh, snap. Because I do be hearing that. Why are you a Republican? I mean, aren't they all racist? Aren't they all greedy? Aren't they all? And I go, I don't know what you're talking about. On my live stream, I think it was last night, where I was pointing out, no, it was 2 nights ago, when I was pointing out the young black Muslim, because she came straight out, as a woman, as a black woman, as a Muslim, MAGA folks are dangerous. MAGA folks, they hate everybody. And she thought in her head that all the MAGA voters or supporters are straight, cis, middle to upper class white men. And when you hear them talk about Republicans on fake news networks, they never include black folks, Latinos and stuff. They just hop right over that. And they address and criticize the Republican Party or voters as if they just assume all of them are white. Just the fact that they talk about they're racist, they're this, they're that, they're extremists. And I'm saying, you want everybody to believe that all the Republicans are just straight evil white men and their wives that are very submissive are the only ones running around, doing all of these accusations that you're accusing them of doing, which they're not. Y'all just making it up. And they will overlook video footage and folks like me. Look at this, y'all. Y'all see this brown skin. I love my brown skin. Where did all your people from? Maybe Mississippi or an island. I'm straight up black. But I guess I'm a white, rich, upper class man. No, see, I'm not. And they don't want that perception to be broken, that all Republicans are white men. Tell him, Mark. Mark, like, hey, I'm a brother.
It ain't coming off. And while we're on that subject, wasn't it the Republican Party that fought a war to free the slaves?
What?
How many Jim?
Wait a minute, Mark. Because, see, I ain't learned that in history class. They're always talking about Republicans trying to erase the history of black folks and slavery. Oh, you want to play that game? Well, maybe we should start teaching in the classroom about who really was responsible for slavery, who fought to retain slavery, who resisted all the policies that would free the slaves and give them equal rights. Maybe we should start assigning the true blame to the party that was behind it, instead of just making it seem like it was all white people back then. And, you had some good white people, you had some bad white people. And don't assign party to, all of these atrocities. We just want race assigned to them. We want you to just think white folks did this. See, because if you attach Democrat Party to these policies, now that history takes on a whole different view. Now maybe a lot of little black kids will go, so why would I want to go ahead and support a party that was responsible for all of the stuff that these same people in that party is trying to tell me is affecting me today? Telling me I'm still a victim of the choices that their party made. But yet they're called black folks to the Republicans racist. I mean, not racist, but sellouts and Uncle Toms. And I'm saying, man, you over in the Democrat Party supporting these fools and got the nerve to be calling me an Uncle Tom. That always blows my mind. What else, Mark? Because you hot tonight, man.
Crow laws were passed by Republicans.
Jim Crow laws?
Wasn't it?
Wait, the same Jim Crow 2.0. This is worse than Jim Crow. This is Jim Eagle. Those, the ones that the Democrats are using from their past to bring into the current and try to pretend that somehow these are Republican policies and they just came back. What else, Mark? You're schooling folks today.
The Republicans who ended Jim Crow.
Oh, the same white nationalist Republicans that are a danger to society. Those ones.
Then you can take it even further and say, so you're a Democrat. Why are you a Democrat?
Thank you.
You know the Democrats were the ones that were in favor of slavery. They were the ones in favor of the Confederacy.
I'm just saying.
They were the ones that created Jim Crow. They are the ones that made the laws. And they are the ones that fought like hell to keep them until they found out a different way to enslave people.
Woo, Mark. That is so true. Yeah, you can't beat them, join them. So all of those pro-black or white liberals, which makes me laugh when white liberals try to tell me how you're a sellout to your people. How could you betray your own people like this, being a Republican? I'm going, you know what? Silly white man like Eddie Murphy. Look here, silly white man, liberal white man with the pink Kool-Aid in the hair. Let me tell you something. So this man just broke it down. All of the things that the current Democrat Party, they throw out constantly and they use for identity politics. They don't want folks knowing that this right here all came out of the mind of the past Democrat politicians. And at some point, instead of really repenting as a party, the party just said, how can we change up our sin to make it look a little better than it used to? How can we make our sin look good for society? There you go. It's kind of like not wanting to say that we enjoy abortion even up to 9 months and beyond. Hey, you don't want to say that. That makes the sin look foul, real foul. So what you say is we support women's reproductive health care. There you go. We just switched it up, but we ain't changed. We ain't really repented. We just simply switched up our strategy, our definitions, and all of this stuff. The perception. So now, Mark, what you're telling me is that they done switched up their strategy. They didn't really repent and say, now we really love black people. They just said, how else can we use black people? Since we can't do it the full-blown visual slavery way, let's use them in another way.
Instead of giving them slave shacks and shackles,
Yeah.
they decided they were going to give them welfare checks and the ghetto. You see
What? So that's why when I did my show a couple of days ago, and they were showing black folks getting interviewed down there in Atlanta, and the one thing they were talking about is stimulus checks. They were passing out money. Now, that was just the stimulus check. Can you imagine all the inner city black areas that the majority of those people are hooked on some type of government assistance? Now, the reason I can talk about that is because I lived that. You don't think we grew up on the government cheese? You don't think we grew up with all of the stuff that the government was supplying us? And guess what? Every single black person in the neighborhood thought that if a Republican gets in office, they're going to take away our government cheese. They're going to take away welfare. They're going to take away all of this stuff. That's the only thing that we thought about. So you think we was really looking at policies? Nope, we were going, this party gives us stuff. This party is saying, hey, vote for us, we'll keep the stuff coming. But we didn't see the strings attached to the stuff. Mark, you dropping it.
There are truths that nobody wants to talk about. Not the news media, not the college professor. Nobody wants to talk about it. But I'm going to talk about it. And you should too. You should run and go tell the good news of why you're a Republican. You can take it all the way back to 1860 and bring it all the way up right now to 2020.
Wow. Because see, when you look at the fundamental beliefs and policies of the Republican Party back then, they didn't really change. Now, we got rhinos, but really haven't changed. So now the Democrats have changed. Their far right radical policies, their open border policies, You can go back about 10, 15 years ago and you will hear them all saying something totally different. Obama, I believe that marriage is between a man and a woman. Joe Biden, I don't know why we're even discussing this. I mean, if we believe women and men. Hillary Clinton, marriage between a man and a woman. What changed? That's what I'm wondering. They were all talking about we need a wall. We can't have illegal immigrants coming over here, putting us in danger, taking all our jobs, all of that crap. Now all of a sudden, open borders for everybody. Stupid stuff like that.
You look at the states that are run by Republicans. Look at what Sarah Huckabee Sanders is doing in Arkansas.
I love her.
Look at what Glenn Youngkin is doing in Virginia. Look at what Ron DeSantis is doing in Florida.
Yes.
And Greg Abbott is doing in Texas.
Well,
look at what the Republican legislature in North Carolina is doing and has done since 2010. While we're on that subject,
what?
Think about what North Carolina will do when Mark Robinson is the Republican governor.
Wait, Mark Robinson for governor. Almost tempted just to move to North Carolina just to vote and then move back. All right, I'm a citizen. When is voting day? Why are you so concerned about that? Oh, not that. I just want to make sure that I just got my citizen. I just became a citizen of North Carolina 2 days before voting, and then go ahead and vote. You know what? I decided to move back. I hope he wins.
You see, there's a truth that's got to be told. Unfortunately, no one will tell it.
They won't?
If you don't. No one will be
will.
bold enough to tell it.
I'll tell
if you're not.
I tell it on the mountaintop. Now watch him close out by comparing the spirit of MAGA/patriots in this country to a era when folks loved the country and would be willing to do whatever, what kind of sacrifices they needed to make to save the country. So let's see him go ahead and dismount with this last word of encouragement for all of us.
Now, before I leave you, I want to leave you with this.
Give it to
Who are we as Republicans?
Okay.
Who are we as conservatives? Who are we as patriots?
Yeah.
Who are we as MAGA Republicans?
MAGA. We're the special ops version unit of Republican voters. I'm okay with being called a MAGA Republican because that already lets me know what kind of thinker you are. When you say, I mean, it really does. When folks own the whole title of being a MAGA Republican, that means you're not shy. You are bold and open about it. Yeah, I'm a MAGA Republican. Just letting you know my mentality. Almost proud to say it. It's kind of like, I'm a Navy SEAL. You're like, oh, a Navy. You ain't one of just a regular soldier. You on a whole nother level. I see what you're talking about. We can relate. If you go, you special ops too? I am too. See, not that I don't respect the other units and but it's something that distinguishes between certain folks that you like. It's a mentality that comes along with that. That me and you know. Yeah, see, we got the mentality. A MAGA Republican. That's why I don't mind when the fake news separates Republicans in the Senate and the House based on MAGA wing versus the regular wing. That lets me know the regular wing aren't real Republicans. They're rhinos. Soon as I hear them start saying, they're extremists, they're MAGA Republican, I'm going, they're good. They're good. Unlike Mitch McConnell and some of your more traditional Romney, and I'm going, rhinos. Rhinos. Yeah, when you earn the title MAGA Republican, that means you're hardcore. Let's continue.
I boil it all down to this.
What?
Earlier this month, we celebrate what I call America's St. Christmas, D-Day, June the 6th, 1944. The spirit of MAGA, the spirit of us, the spirit of the American patriot is embodied in those boys, in those boats. It lives inside of the hearts of each and every person in this room. It lives inside of the people who go back home and get politically active and are bound and determined to change the circumstances of their cities and their state and their nation. It exists in those moms who had the unmitigated gall, according to some, to go down to the school board and demand that their children not be sexualized.
Woo-wee! I'm liking what I'm hearing, and I feel a MAGA movement taking place across the country. Folks are starting to stand up to this stupidity, this wokeness. Yeah, going to those rallies where Trump went into territory where all of those minorities came out with MAGA hats on, came out proud to say they're Republicans, proud to say they're voting for Trump, standing up and calling out the hypocrisy and the horrific policies of the Democrats. That right there takes boldness. It takes you saying, I love my country more than my reputation at this point. You think I didn't consider what would happen to me when I posted my first video online? I'm like, boy, I'm going to get just mobbed by the black community and liberals for coming out and talking about this. Yeah, when I went and opened on Facebook for the first time, and I ain't talking about my Kevin's Corner Facebook page. I'm talking about my personal Facebook page that had probably 99.9% liberals on it. And I had the nerve to go out and say, I'm supporting Donald Trump. The heat was on. I knew what was going to come. And did I go, oh, my fault? You know what, man, now that I hear it, I consider, no. I said, you know what, come on. I'll take on all of yous. All of yous. And I did. And won. They don't even get on there and debate with me no more about that. I'm like, don't you do it. You know, don't you do that. Eh? I'm armed. I'm a special ops MAGA Republican. You don't want none of that. One of me could take on about 80 of y'all. Let's continue.
He lives in the heart of every patriot who decides to put their name on the dotted line and serve in office.
Yeah.
It exists inside of Americans who love this nation.
And that's all it really comes down to. If you love the country and you got common sense, you know, you're not going to succumb to this garbage. You're not going to be okay with becoming a globalist country. You're not going to be okay with having an open border. You're not going to be okay with your kids being sexualized. You're not going to be able to be okay with your kids being able to go through transition and all of that. You're not going to be okay with these things. And it doesn't make you an ultra MAGA Republican or far right. These are labels that they try to put on us and demonize us over for just having common sense and saying, I want America to remain a free, sovereign country where we're safe and able to pursue the American dream that for some reason have all been just distorted. People looking real folk going, man, is this the American dream? I mean, are they going to, if our country continues in the direction it is, for me to acquire anything that resembles the American dream, I would have to sell out to the left. I would have to be on board with them throwing our country under the bus to globalists. I would have to be okay with smiling in the face of an open border that's putting citizens in danger. I would have to be okay with all of this garbage, and I'm not willing to do it. If the country goes down, it ain't going down under my watch with my signature on it. It'd be like, hey, man, I fought to the end just like these soldiers in World War II on D-Day. Might go down, but I'm going down fighting.
The heart of the boys in those boats on that day is literally the epitome of America. When times get tough for us.
Thank you.
When you get scared, when you get nervous, when you think you can't win, think about them boys in the boats.
That's right.
Think about them bullets hitting that door. Think about the fact when that door opened, they didn't run to the back. They ran out that door.
Woo-wee.
Bullets be damned, death be damned.
Yeah.
I'm here to save my country. You think about them. You remember them. And you remember their sacrifice was not in vain because it lives in you and it lives in me and it lives in all of us. Let's let that energize us to save this nation one more time. God bless you all, and God bless the United States of America. Thank you.
Mark, man, I'm feeling like running outside right now, throwing on my hoodie, getting on a jog like dun 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 dun. I feel like running a Rocky montage right now. Go get me some chickens to chase. Go get me some chickens to chase. Somebody go get me a heavy bag. Somebody go get me the log. So I can get on top of the mountain and be like, oh, MAGA. I'm loving it. See, it's a mentality, man. You got to say, I will stand in the face of my enemies. And they are vast because they own almost everything of influence. And they're currently in power. And they're mad because we're still growing and we're resisting them in spite of all the tools that they have to suppress us, to demonize us, to use lawfare against us. They still can't understand. How is it that we hitting these folks with everything we got and they still seem to be building momentum? The support is growing. The message is spreading. And folks are becoming more emboldened to come out and confess it. Folks aren't as squeamish and sitting back like, man, I ain't going to even mention that I went to a Trump rally or this and this and that. And I'm loving it. I'm loving it. I wanted to get to the point where folks on the left are like, I better not even bring up politics because these folks are confident and equipped with all kind of understanding, knowledge about what's going on to where they're going to make me look like a fool. If I come out here talking about something, I think it's okay that illegal immigrants and what you're a bigot because you don't want the kids learning about. Miss me with that mess. You're the minority. We're right because we're on the right and because we are right. So I'm not going to entertain your foolishness when you talk about men can be women and women can be, your mind is limited and it's a social construct. I know that I'm right. I know the difference between one with the apple stem and one without. So we're right. We're on the right. And we are right. So God bless y'all. God bless America. Thanks for hanging out with me on a Saturday. Mark, man, I hope he wins big. If you're in North Carolina, man, spread the message. That guy deserves it. And I think he'll do a great job. But we got a lot of work to do as a country. And I think we got a shot at getting it done if we all stick together and keep supporting. Somebody said I hit 191,000. Looks like I'm moving on up, moving on up. And I hope YouTube is still asleep at the wheel before they catch it. Like, oh, shoot, how do we let his numbers go up that? All right, who is responsible for suppressing a black man? Frank, I told you, don't let black conservatives grow. Huh, you know what, Frank? We're going to have to dock your pay. Knock him back down. I don't want that. So hopefully it'll keep growing, and it will with your support. So thanks for all that you do. Thanks for caring about my success and my growth. And I hope we can share this right here. I hope we can all be in this together and we can celebrate when we overcome all of the stupidities attacking our whole country. So hit that like button, share my videos. Don't forget, text MAGA to this number. Okay, 330-974-4607, just in case YouTube changed their mind about me. And then check out the Kevin's Corner store if you want to buy some merch. And if you just want to bypass that and slide something, a blessing, a mailbox blessing, in my Cash App or my PayPal, the link is below there too. So, yeah, other than that, I shall see you on Monday. And keep a lookout for some single uploads from some of these live streams, okay? God bless y'all. God bless America. We see y'all on Monday. Who's scared? Not me.
Scared. This is awesome. Yeah, awesome.
I know you see the apes. Tear up the place, yeah.